The summertime heat is out. Most of us are going to try to find some relief from that heat by heading to the pool or the lake. A fun time, but always a time to be very careful, especially with your children. So happy this morning to welcome Dr. Trey Dyer, who is here from CHI Memorial Pediatric Diagnostic Associates. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
And welcome back home.
Appreciate it.
You grew up here and went away, and now you've come back.
I did.
Water safety is one of those things, we hear it, everyone knows to be careful, and yet in a split second you can make a mistake that you can regret.
That's correct. It's important for parents of little ones to be aware of all bodies of water, not just lakes, rivers, pools, but to keep a close eye on their children when they're around fountains or in bathtubs or even buckets of water.
I hate to bring up a frightening concept, but it's something that we have to realize. What is the amount of water that can pose a danger for a child, even just an inch or two?
Yes, there's really no set amount. Any inch or two of standing water can be a danger to a child. Sure.
I think that things have evolved since then. My older daughter is 20 years old, so we've progressed a long way since then. But I remember when she was about 1, and she had this little floaty device to teach her to swim. Maybe she was 2, and it had an inner tube that went around it. And I can remember being in a public swimming pool, and Emily was a bit away from me, and the tubing flipped her, and she was upside down in the water. I hope that they don't even make those anymore.
Well,
but you have to be careful even with those things.
Correct. So the number one thing to do when children are swimming in pools and whatnot is to provide close supervision. And for all kids under the age of 5, we recommend what we call touch supervision. So that basically is that all kids should be within arm's length of an adult who can swim.
Because you cannot move quickly in the water. When panic strikes, you can't get there.
Correct.
Like you think.
Right.
In terms of, what if you have a child who is afraid of getting in the water? Should you kind of, I know it's a case-by-case basis, but maybe that's a gut instinct to kind of listen to with that child. Don't push it too much.
Right. I mean, encourage things, take it step by step, day by day. Don't force anything on anyone. But if you can, gradually help kids, grow to be comfortable around water, that certainly helps. It's important, there's a little bit of data that shows a slight decreased risk of drowning for kids, for toddlers who have had swimming lessons. But the big thing that we really stress is that swimming lessons, things like that, are not a replacement for close supervision. If
you're out on the lake, you've got a kid who's a strong swimmer, and you tend to think, oh no, they'll be fine. Be especially careful to wear those safety life preservers because the water's dark.
Right. So all kids should wear life jackets when they're on a boat on the lake. I think it's state law that all kids 12 and under wear a life jacket. Never have adolescents, kids swimming alone. Always have, someone that's in charge of whoever's in the water, so that they're always keeping an eye on them. The other thing is it's important to especially teach older kids about rip currents. So if they ever got caught in a rip current, that was taking them away from the shore, instead of actually swimming towards the shore, they should swim parallel to the shore so that they can swim out of the rip current and then they can make it back into the shore.
Okay. In your practice, when parents are coming in and meeting with you, and you see kids when they're sick, but also for well visits, do you kind of make this a course of education for people as you're heading into these summer months?
Certainly, and especially this time of year, for sure. We kind of, the summer is kind of well check season, school, physicals, things like that. So it's important for us to touch base on these topics with parents.
What about horseplay in the pool? I know you're big on following the safety rules. So if you're at the Y swimming pool and they say don't horseplay around, listen to it.
Right. So it's important for parents to enforce the rules. No running around the pool, no diving in shallow water, no diving in any body of water in which you don't know the depth to which it goes. And a big thing for parents that we stress is that they should follow these rules as well, because they're setting an example for their kids.
It's easy, I guess, maybe more logical to think about the concerns if you are out at a pool or at the lake. At home, are there just some hazards? I guess if you have a little kiddie pool at home, watch for that.
Right, so no matter the depth of water, basically any young kids, you know, under 5, you should always be keeping an eye on them, and that's includes time in the bathtub. Other hazards, things you can think about with little kids, is to make sure you can check your water heater and to make sure that the temperature can't go too high, because, you know, they're always at risk for grabbing knobs, things like that, and accidentally turning on hot water, and don't want them to get burned.
And to that end, if you don't have a pool at your house, but you're going to get outside and do the age-old fun of playing in the hose, make sure that the water's cooled off, I guess, before you begin to spray.
Correct. Yep. Absolutely.
Dr. Trey Dyer, back home in Chattanooga. You can find him. There are 3 locations actually for the Pediatric Diagnostic Associates, downtown, over in East Brainerd, also in Ringgold. Their phone number, easy to remember, 698-BABY, that's 2229, chimemorialmedicalgroup.org, and then you can just /PDA. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Here's to a safe summer.
Absolutely.